from where you at. I came here for vengeance, watch your back. No need to defend, I'm on attack. Sorry they can't reply, but I guarantee they had a blast. Pop, 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 I be on the next to only ya. I am fresh to death.
Good morning, folks. It is Monday of week 5. This is going by relatively quickly. I'm already 5 weeks in and only have 7 to go. You know, this is one of those things that I always tell clients when we get into preps, you know. It's like I put a countdown on their app, and that countdown starts and they're 20 weeks out. Look, yeah, we got a lot of time. This will go way faster than you planned for it to. All of a sudden, 20 weeks is 2 weeks, and the show's almost here. So I'm obviously not doing a show, but I'm still wanting to put a good bit of pressure on myself here because I don't want to come up at the end of this 12-week vlog where I have laid everything out in front of you guys and put my own coaching behind myself and go, well, I guess I kind of lost some weight. It's like, no, I want to make a big difference. So I feel the pressure from that aspect in a way. Not bad, but that's kind of the thing that's like got me cruising, feeling really good, you know, and making me feel like this is something that I want to work for, want to try harder at. So this weekend, Brittany was in town. I had my son until yesterday evening. I had him for 10 days. That was taking him to school, working, training, taking care of the dog. So lots of hats to juggle there. So I have to say that it's kind of nice being able to wake up this morning and just focus on what it is that I need to get done for the day. And then at the end of the day, be able to kind of unwind a little bit and zone out versus being like, all right, what do I got to get ready for him? It's a blessing to be a parent. I love being a parent. My son is like my best friend, you know, because I hang out with him. I hang out with my girlfriend, you know. Everyone else I see at the gym for the most part. But, you know, you have enough responsibilities and things going on as an adult. You know, those times of just going hang out with your friends all day are gone, you know. So all that to say, my son is my best friend, but there's a lot of times where I'm just like, I need you to go away. And I know all my parents who are watching this will understand that. So while co-parenting is a very difficult situation, there are some perks where you do get time away. But you know, he's just at that age. He's a little speech delayed. So he's going through a phase right now that most kids go through at like 2.5 to 3, where they've gotten comfortable enough talking that they're gonna ask questions, but it's the same question over and over and over again, even if you answered it. Like, what's his name? What's his name? What's his name? Yeah, it's just one of those times. So, well, that to say, it's nice to. I don't have him again until Friday. I asked for that. Usually I would get him on Wednesday, Thursday, but due to travel schedule, because not this coming weekend, but the weekend after that, I'm traveling down to Houston. Brittany bought us tickets to go see Shane Gillis. So we're gonna go see him on the 19th, and then we have a Labrada Pro Series meetup on the 20th. So I'll be down there for that. I come back after that weekend. Zack will be in town. Shout out Zack. About a little under 4 weeks out from the amateur O for him. So he comes into town that week. We shoot some content. I leave again Friday to go to old Beaumont, Texas to get ready for Stacy's show. I don't think I've talked about Stacy on here, but Stacy is a natural figure competitor who is doing first the NPC Texas Natural, and then second the Ben Weider Natural Nationals. So she's 2.5 weeks out. Looking really good. Very happy with how her body has been progressing. You know, we've got a lot of things that we need to start doing over the next couple of weeks to get her body like the best it possibly can be. But I'm very happy with where it's been headed. And then I started to talk about this weekend's plans and got off track there. But so Brittany was in town. She got in town Friday night, was with us all day Saturday, and then left yesterday. And on Saturday, it was disgustingly rainy. It was just nasty all day. And of course, we have to find things to do to keep my son entertained. So we did some stuff that morning, just hung around and whatnot. We went to the gym middle of the afternoon, and then we took my son to this place called Cheeky Monkeys. It's just funny to say on here, but we took him to Cheeky Monkeys, which is an indoor playground place. So since it was either raining or had rained not long ago, everything was muddy, we took him to that to play inside. And I'll take him there pretty often, just because of either it's like way too hot outside or bad weather or whatever. I'll take him up there, and when I was not on this cut, there's an In-N-Out right across the street. So he's gotten in a routine of going to Cheeky Monkeys, and then when we go to leave, he'll ask me for burgers. So Brittany and I decided to go ahead and do that on Saturday. I haven't had anything off since this started. So we went and had In-N-Out. Typically, my order would be two double doubles and 2 to 3 fries. But I did 2 burgers and 1 fry, and I didn't even finish the whole fry. Thanks, Retta. So did that, and then came home, and it was time to start getting my son ready for bed at that point. And so we both kind of ate like a late dinner, and we were sitting there watching TV like we normally do, and usually after kind of chilling for a little bit, we'll make our Ninja Creamis, our Labrada Pro Series Hydro Creamis. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's literally protein ice cream. What am I saying? Who doesn't know what that is? Y'all have been watching this vlog. I've been making them. So usually that's what we would do, is sit down and have that and watch something to the end of the day. But both of us were still very full from the In-N-Out. And pulled an audible and said no. So we didn't do that. And then we slept in Sunday morning. So Sunday morning, I had a big weight drop. I was like 220, 226 or something like that. But this morning was a normal wake up. Got a very hefty bowel movement in, and I was 207. So I started this at 235, not 207, good grief. Wow. Okay. I started this at 235. I'm 227 now. So 8 pounds down. I'm in week 5 now, and I'm aiming to lose 2 pounds a week. So if I can lose 24 pounds in this process, going from 235 to 211, 210 to 11, I'd be very happy with that. As of right now, we're kind of on track for that. Yeah. There's been many times where I'm in my head going like, I need to change food. I need to pull more. I need to do this. And then I just calm down and I don't. And I just keep doing what I'm supposed to. So I have now been talking for like 12 minutes. So I'm gonna finish this up here talking, but I'm gonna finish up cardio because I need to ramp this intensity up a little bit. So we'll check in with you guys after cardio. My kitchen is a mess this morning, so please bear with me. Got all these dishes I gotta get out of the sink this morning. Morning supplements. So I'm taking all of my health supplements post-workout. Or post-cardio, I should say. And of course, my slew. Oh yeah. I put it and go down. Oh man. It's my last bit of water and the pill didn't go down. It was still in my mouth. Hopefully you're able to hear me better now. That's almost a liter of water down already. So I drank off of this a little bit the night before and then just finished the rest of it this morning. So that's probably a little bit less than a liter already. A little bit before cardio, during, and now finishing up. And it has the drink more stuff in it from Tuttle. That was the peach mango that was in there, finishing that up from last night. And then I like to start my day off with the tea. The tea flavor of Drink More is an absolute addiction for me. You know, growing up in North Carolina, sweet tea was always a thing. Everywhere we went, there was sweet tea. And you definitely see it a lot here in Texas too, but I don't know. I feel like it was a more common thing to me in North Carolina, so I always grew up drinking tea, so I absolutely love that stuff. Now, I'm going to shower and then go sit down and get some preps or some client stuff knocked out. I have prep athletes, and that's why that came up my brain there. But it's typically what I do is like I already have 3 people who are in prep right now who have already checked in with me. And what I'll do is send them the most important thing that they need to know. It's like for the most part, they all have their different days of their lows, moderates, highs, whatever it is they need. And then I'll give them the instructions that they need immediately over to them with a message. So like if it's, hey, keep on your low days, keep going till this date when you check in again, or if it's giving them high days or pulling them off cardio for the next couple of days or whatever it might be. I send them the most important instructions over a message first, and then once I can go sit down at the computer, analyze things more in detail, then I give them everything else that they need to know. For the most part, I try to, like, my initial response based on their weight and the look from the pictures is what I will go with. If I start trying to second guess everything all the time of like what my initial knee-jerk reaction was to the look and the weight and the feedback that I was given, I tend to start second guessing myself, and then I tend to end up making the wrong choice actually. So I try to not over analyze these things too much. I just go off what it is that I'm seeing immediately and then go forward from there. But that's how I handle people while I'm not sitting down at the computer. And then from here, I'll go sit down at the computer, record some of these videos to get over to them, and then the rest of my day goes from there. Okay, so I don't think I said this already, but I went ahead and did all of my cardio fasted. So I did all 40 this morning, so I'm not going to do any post-workout today. I showered, got myself all ready, and now I'm making my creatine and glutamine combo. So 2 scoops of creatine, about 10 grams, and then 1 scoop of glutamine, about 5 grams. I don't get too really anal with this to weigh it and measure it and all that fun stuff. And then, just because it does help me go to the bathroom, I am using a half scoop of the Revive fiber. Plus, I don't eat for another hour and a half. I've been up since like 6:30. So this kind of helps keep me satiated until then, alongside the Retta. If you don't have a frother, get yourself a frother. Okay. Time to make another cup of coffee and go sit down at the computer to start knocking out some check-ins. All right, work is done for the first half of the morning. Got all my check-ins done. I'm still waiting on a couple of people to check in, but I don't believe I have any prep clients still. I think that's all the prep clients today that are supposed to check in, but we'll find out. If they send me a check-in later, then I'll get to it. But check-ins are done for the morning. It is now time to scarf down meal 1 and then start moseying on up to the gym. God. Nothing I love more than a good runny egg yolk. It was the absolute best. Today's leg day. Nothing really special. I'm excited for it. But it's gonna be the same leg day that I've been doing. I don't know if I ever really explained it on the last video, like the last leg day I did last Monday. I swapped seated leg curls to the front half of the session. So when I got on the lying leg curl the 2 weeks prior to this, I was having some weird pain and it just didn't feel good. I couldn't connect to it at all. And then when I did seated leg curls at the end of the session, they felt awesome. So I was like, all right, let me see what happens if I shuffle this. And I did, and I flipped them and things felt good. So I've been running lying leg curls at the beginning of my leg sessions for a while. So nice little shift over to the seated leg curl. Should feel pretty good. But I'm of two minds with the leg curl stuff. It's like lying leg curl is going to get us to the fully shortened position, which tends to get weaker faster. So when I was like first building this split, I had like RDLs, all that kind of stuff in. But it started to make the pain that I've been having in my mid-back a lot worse. So I pulled it, but I kept the lying leg curl in first because it felt really good. And again, hitting that shortened position off the rip, I can be a little bit stronger. But right now it seems to not be feeling so great. So swap that, but that's the only thing that changed. Nothing else changes. It's like people are in such a hurry to want to change their program all the time. And then they often think of program changes as something that like you need to make a big overhaul on. But to a certain extent, especially with certain muscle groups like arms, hamstrings, quads, like there's only certain things that we can really put into those positions as far as the movements are concerned. Like we can make some pattern changes and whatnot, but for the most part, you're going to do some variation of a squat, some variation of a hinge, some variation of a leg press, an extension, a leg curl. Like there's only so much we can do, right? And these fancy movements that you see online, just it's dumb. Like the basics work, so just stick to those. So the structure of my programs is going to continue to stay the same because it's been working really well for me. So I am now going to eat my oatmeal and then start getting my peri-workout nutrition stuff ready, and then we'll go up to Destination Dallas. Okay, so I rolled my quads, my hips, some 90-90 stretches, got everything loosened up. My hips and quads were feeling a bit tight after a relatively relaxed weekend. But tissue opened up well while I was doing some foam rolling, so should be pretty decent. I don't ever go too crazy on adductors. I've said this a million times, but I've strained my adductors more times than I care to count. So if I try to go apeshit on this to start my session, I just end up in pain. So I just get some good contractions, some good movement, some very direct adductor work with just enough stimulus to get a response, but I don't need to kill my adductors anymore. I'm not trying to progress my legs to get on stage. Started to talk before that last set and then realized that my microphone was muted. This is one of the best leg sessions I've had in a while. This feels really good today. Aside from like a weird sensation on the cedar leg curl, I didn't hurt anything, there's no pain, but like my right hamstring for some reason just felt a little off, is the best way to describe it. So probably just need some tissue work or some extra stuff on it, but this session I feel really, really good. I think mostly because like I was able to get a good bit of drop in stress over the weekend, having a meal off plan, enjoying some time with my son and my girlfriend to just eat and be people. And then yesterday having half the day of not having my son for once and being able to just unwind and relax the way I wanted to. And then not have to wake up and immediately deal with taking him to school. I think all that stuff combined together really helped out. But really crazy pump, really good strength today. I went way above my rep range. I usually go like 12 to 15 on these. I think I was at like 18 or 19 reps there. So feeling really good. Something I have not explained before is first set is all middle peg, and then I start to move some up. So I had 5 plates on the middle peg. I moved 2 up to the top, kept 3 on the middle. And I'll do 1 more set after this, and I'll move 1 more plate up to the top. So the total weight at the bottom is the same across all 3 sets, but with the slight reduction of a plate from the middle to the top, it's not as hard in the full extension, which allows me to still use that weight in the position where things are gonna get weaker the deeper I go into this. So it's what I've been doing for a while, and a lot of these prime exercises, like starting at mid-range and then moving it up to heavier in the beginning, lighter in the end, or whatever profile it is that I need for the exercise. And it feels really good, so I'm gonna keep doing it. That was way harder than I wanted it to be. I did that last week, 4 plates, and it was heavy last week. Felt extra heavy today, but I think I got an extra 2 reps. I honestly don't remember. I'm not logbooking anymore. I don't care. I do care about progress, but writing things down on a log, like, I'm in here because I enjoy this again, because I enjoy the push, I enjoy the hurt, I enjoy the feeling of progression. You know, it's been 2 years since I got on stage, over 2 years since I got on stage, and that's the last time that I've really tried to change my physique. I mean, I had done an off season after that last show that lasted through the end of 23 and the beginning of 24, and then that's when I stopped bodybuilding and went through the gut health thing. So it feels really fucking good to be doing this shit again and like feeling this again. You know, like I don't feel like I don't feel like shit. I don't feel like I'm dieting. I don't feel like I'm dying. Just everything just feels good. Really, really, really good. So I know a lot of people do it, but I don't know how. I can't drink Intra like carbs during my leg sessions. Other sessions not so bad. Sometimes it happens on back, but I can't drink carbs during a leg workout. I've literally just got EAAs in here, and then the more hydration. And just the sweetness of this is causing me to be a little bit nauseous. So I don't know how people do it, to be completely honest, but my pace has slowed down. This is my last exercise. I'll probably do 2 sets here as long as my hamstring feels okay. Probably just do 2 sets here and then call it a day and then start to relax a little bit. if my stomach stays like this, probably end up pulling meal 2 down just because I'm not hungry at all and then overstimulated from a leg day, which is never a good place when you're trying to get food down, especially with something like the Retta in that already lowers my appetite. So, but yeah, last exercise and then I'll be out of here. Leg day is done. I'm pretty sure I said it already, but I was starting to feel nauseous in that session, and so I sat around at the gym for a little bit. I already did all my cardio this morning, so I didn't have to do that. So I just sat around, talked to some friends, let my stomach kind of relax a little bit before I tried to drink a protein shake. And then what I'm going to do when I go home is go ahead and WALK him. I don't have anything until 2 more hours from now, so like I have some time before I need to be in front of my computer. So just gonna take my time to eat my next meal and probably gonna pull it down to like I'm just not that hungry today. It really was, it was more difficult to get my oatmeal down this morning, so I think I'm probably gonna end up pulling food, not because I necessarily need to continue my fat loss, but just because I'm not that hungry, and if the goal is to get leaner, then fuck it, let's pull some food. So I think that's probably what's gonna end up happening today, but we are on our way home, and I need to take Grumpy Pants to get some exercise, so about to head to the house. I don't know why I'm so proud of myself for putting the mic on the end of my spoon. So, got home, made my cream of rice, and then took the dog on a walk because usually a little bit of steps for me when my stomach is kind of meh, it helps me move some stuff through, and it did. I'm more hungry now, and it gave my nervous system time to kind of calm down. So good walk, I feel good now. Cream of rice, I pulled down from 120 to 100. Just to kind of see how my stomach would feel with this. I'll need to look at the actual meal plan itself and make some adjustments. I'm probably just going to go ahead and pull things down. But I need to look at exactly what I want to do as far as this amount. But 100 for now was enough of a pullback to make sure that I didn't completely stuff myself with this meal. So I'm going to knock this out. I have a call in an hour with potential new clients, and to get that done, and then need to run something over to my son's grandmother, and then a little bit more check-ins to do, and yeah, that's the rest of the day. So pretty boring. Like I said, this is just rinse and repeat, day in and day out. Even though I'm not a bodybuilder anymore, stage-wise, I still hold the same patterns and still do the same things as a bodybuilder would do. So yeah, I'm gonna eat this meal now. Catch you guys in a bit. Well, I was about to make my next meal, but guess who doesn't have rice? Me. All right, so 3 cups of rice in here. Now, I'll rinse this really well. I'll rinse this rice off really well, get all the extra starch off of it, and then pop it in the rice cooker. I haven't shown y'all how I prepare this yet. It's fairly simple, but I know some people don't use rice cookers and maybe don't understand how convenient they are, so I figured I would just go ahead and do this. If you are making rice, always make sure that you rinse your rice off. Like if I show you guys this, let's see if I can tilt this down here. So if I show you that right there, you can see how milky the water is, and there's all this stuff floating on it. That's extra starch that's on the rice, and then obviously any junk that they had to do to clean it and get it pest free and all that stuff. So you want to just make sure that you rinse it off, because if you don't rinse that off and then you cook the rice with that in there, you're going to get a lot of extra starch, like I said, which can sometimes cause digestive problems and kind of irritate the stomach a little bit. So I would definitely make sure that you are rinsing the crud off of your rice. So now the water is relatively clear. It's never going to be perfectly clear, but I got most of the starch. Got most of the starch off of there. I'll show y'all. You can see that water is a lot more clear. You actually see the rice at the bottom. So a lot more clear, and that will just help me out digestive wise. And then this just goes in the rice cooker, turn it on, and I hit the white rice button. So what I was going to do was eat and then walk the dog again, but now I'm going to let that cook while I go walk the dog. So I'm not aggressively hungry, so I'll be fine. It's almost 6, so I'm actually an hour behind already on my next meal, but I'm not crazy hungry, so I'll be fine. So I'm gonna go walk the dog now. All right, so I thought I had more chicken. It didn't. I knew I needed to cook some, but I thought I still had some in the refrigerator. And now this is a prime example of me being reactive and not proactive. So I made my rice, it is done. It's sitting over here resting. And then I went to go try to make my meal and realized I didn't have chicken. So I'm not gonna fire up the grill right now, just too many other things to do. So I'm gonna try to actually grill the chicken tomorrow, but for right now I've got it going in the pan. So I just diced up a whole breast, and I'm just cooking that on the pan. Then I'll weigh out how much I need cooked after, and then just make the wraps from there. I don't need to, the rice is already warm and cooked and ready to go, and chicken will be cooked and ready to go, so I just gotta put it in the wraps from here. So, you know, we're not all perfect, you know. As much as I try to be, you know, I'm not perfect. And then the other thing that I just realized is I only have one wrap left. I need to go to the grocery store too. Can you tell it's been a week? Cooked my chicken. It was almost exactly the right amount. There was a little bit left over, so I stored that for later. Since I only have one wrap, all of that rice is not going to fit into here. So I took a lot of it out and put it on the side, so I'll finish that after I eat the wrap. And then I made up a little bit more of the carb from missing the second wrap with more watermelon, because I love watermelon and I need a new one anyways. So I kind of finished off what was left in there. This meal never misses. So I did go ahead and adjust foods, and given the response that I got after the burger of like weight dropping, feeling really good pump, that kind of thing today, I think it leads me towards I need to pull my total calories down, just stick to low days and then sprinkle in high days here and there in order to kind of like continue to push progress forward, but not push it down so low that I'm like struggling. So I'll go through that stuff tomorrow. I've got a pretty busy night the rest of the night. I've got a program I need to finish, but Kahunas is on the fritz, so it's not letting me upload what it is that I need to upload. But then I also need to edit this podcast, the next podcast I have going out this week. So I need to get that done and edited and all put together. So probably I'll show you guys that tomorrow or just on Wednesday when I do my normal check-ins. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this. I'll check in with you guys for Creami time. Now that that thing is done running, I'll turn my mic on. So I am making my Creami before I sit down on the couch and rot.
bed. This bag is almost empty, so I'm scraping it out of here. That bag is empty, but we got a backup canister. To order some more. Stocks are getting low. And look, what do you know? Scoop. It's right on top. I'm not going to be able to show you that well, so it's right here. Grab it. Beautiful. You know, surprisingly, that happens more often than not with the Pro Series Hydro in the bag or in the canister. The label or the scoop tends to be on top. I don't know if they have a method where they do that on purpose or if it's just luck of the draw, but they're not always on top. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to claim the scoop is always at the top of the bag or the canister, but I don't typically have to hunt that hard to get it. Now, granted, it is also a small tub, but doesn't mean that it can't get down to the bottom. So the one that's in the machine right now is the last one I had in the freezer. So my routine is to make more, so I don't run out, because I'm pretty sure that I might just like cease to exist if I didn't have Creami at the end of the night for whatever reason. You know, it's a part of my soul now. Okay, so those are made. Now it's time to finish this, but gonna sit down here in just a minute. I just wanted to go ahead and record this because I seem to forget this every time I do one of these. So it's the end of the day. Eat my Creami, do my rice cakes, and chill. So see ya probably tomorrow.